Alright, welcome back everyone to another PGP video for the Trick House versus, I believe, EDC. I don't remember what that stands for, but we're playing EDC. My opponent is Wombat. This is week number 5. I didn't play week 1, 2, and week 4, but leading up into this match, my team is actually on an incredible, unprecedented win streak. Something I have never seen before. To be honest, it's quite impressive what we've been able to do so far. But coming into this, we have won 18 straight games across all of our series so far. So dating back to week 2, we won our last 2 games of that series, and then we got back-to-back 7-0s. I know we 7-0'd Pichu, but we 7-0'd our next opponent the week after that. So that was 16 games in a row, and then currently, leading up to this match, we are up 2-0, so that is 18 straight wins. I'm the next game up, so hopefully I can make it 19, and we get to that nice, crispy number of 20, and hopefully I can get the win to get us in position to try and win 20 games in a row. But yeah, we'll just briefly go through the matchup of my team and then just cover the game all in once. So as you can see, my team didn't change from the mid-season. It's still the same exact 8. Didn't feel like I needed to. Plus, there wasn't really anything good to replace. I felt like all my members kind of cohesively glued together pretty well, so I didn't really want to swap out anything. Otherwise, I would have had to make a major overhaul. But my opponent, Wombat, another Terra Annihilate. I don't know how. I've played 2 matchups, and I somehow pulled 2 Mirror Apes. At least there's no Gren this time, but Landorus T, Meowscarada. Honestly, I could argue that's a little bit worse just because it outspeeds Greninja. Heatran, Screamtail, Toxtricity, Tatsugiri, and Knackle Stack. So I built this team probably in like 10 minutes on like Sunday night or something, whenever the matchups came out. And then I made some last minute changes when I got home before the game. So this is the team that I ended up with. So first thing, Specs Gren. His water switch-in is Meowscarada and Tatsugiri with Storm Drain. Annihilate if he tears it into like grass or water, or dragon. Didn't feel like water was going to come just because I have Thunderous T that can revenge that pretty easily. So I expected maybe like electric. That's what someone brought against me last time. Electric, maybe I don't know, Ghost again if they wanted to bring Scarf. Yeah, I just figured this was fine. Hydro Pump, Dark Pulse, Surf, Ice Beam. Didn't feel like I needed priority in this matchup. Ice Beam is just there so I can hit Meowscarada. Well, not really. It's there to hit, yeah, instead of Terra Electric, Terra Grass Annihilate was also a viable bring. I brought Ice Beam just to hit that a little bit harder. But yeah, 2 stabs, Hydro, if I need more power, Surf if I don't want to miss, and I just need to clean things up. Next, Scarf, Terra Ghost, Annihilate with Defiant because he has Intimidate Landorus, which I believe has to come from my Thundurus, and Glamora. Just close combat, Terra Blast, Rage Fist. If I take a hit, it'll be stronger than Terra Blast, but I like Terra Blast because it doesn't make contact, which is good for Heatran if he's Flame Body. And then Final Gambit, just in case the Annihilate's getting out of hand and I need to just instantly pressure it with damage, I can use Final Gambit to remove him. Thunderous T with Boots. The Terra types don't matter here. My Terra is Annihilate. I just put Terra types to confuse them at team preview because it's funnier that way, and it's worked before. Thunderbolt, Foul Play, Taunt, Agility. This used to be Wo-Chien, this slot, but I changed it to Thundy T. I was really afraid of Tatsugiri since it was the only water immunity that he had, and since I don't count Meowscarada as a water pivot to Greninja, so I had Wo-Chien, but then I figured Tatsugiri in a way also doesn't really force anything. Like I have a lot of things that are faster than it, so I figured he might just bring Toxtricity so he's not weak to T-Spikes. So I ended up benching Wo-Chien. This was the change I did last minute. Added Thundy, T-Bolt, Foul Play, Taunt, Agility. If I get in an endgame situation and things are pretty low, I can just T-Bolt, Foul Play the rest of his team. Meowscarada, I have ways to try and wear him down. Landorus I can wear down with Foul Play, especially if he's offensive, but if he's just like max HP, does like 26 to 30% or something. Taunt is good for like setup Ape. Screamtail, if he's just wish spamming, I can at least punish him and then like utilize my Ape to just force him out and have him not do like wish protect shenanigans. It's also good for like setup Toxtricity if he has it. Even like Landorus in a way, but I'm not really concerned about that. Mainly Ape, Scream, and Tox. Yeah, and then that's just the rest of the set. Some bulk, I can live like a +1 close combat from Ape, unless he's like adamant, then it's like a roll. I can live a Heatran Magma Storm if he's modest. I can live a banded knockoff from Meowscarada. I can live a bulky Landorus Stone Edge, so if he's not max attack or anything, I can live that as well. And if he's like Scarf Toxtricity, I should be able to live a hit. From that, I can live a Draco from Tatsugiri. So anything non-boosted outside of the Meowscarada. And then Screamtail Helmet, pretty defensive. Some Spadef, again, I added that for Tatsugiri after I took Wo-Chien off. Gleam, mainly only thing I need to hit. I'm really not going to do anything to Heatran anyways, or Toxtricity, so it doesn't matter. Wish, Encore, Stealth Rock. If he does like hard Heatran or Tox, I can Wish and then go into my Assault Vest Donphan, as you can see, and I can utilize that as a pivot. But it's mainly here to get a Brox and then weaken the Meowscarada with Helmet. Unless he removes it, but at least he has to knock off into me. And then Glimmora, another Helmet user, a lot of defense, modest with some speed, Sludge Bomb, Earth Power, Spikes, Rock Polish. Just again, Toxic Debris is pretty good because if he does bring Tox, T-Spikes destroy him, but if he does bring it, at least it forces him in, and this can at least pivot into Toxtricity. Sludge Bomb, Earth Power hits everything. I don't really need much of anything else, really. Spikes is just there if I have the opportunity to get it up. So, yeah. And then Donphan, just Spadef, Assault Vest, Earthquake, Gunk Shot, Endeavor, Ice Shard. It felt like I didn't need Spin because Ape kind of just was a nuisance to that anyways. Endeavor's pretty good because I figure Ape's going to be at least it's going to Terra into a non-Terra Ghost, I feel. And if it's Scarf, then I'm not concerned about chipping it, really, for the most part. So, yeah, Endeavor hits everything, especially if I get worn down by Tran or Toxtricity. I can Ice Shard the Landorus or the Meowscarada to pick it off, or even Annihilate if he's Scarfed, or Toxtricity if it's like Shift Gear or something. And then Gunk Shot was just a good neutral into Screamtail, as well as Meowscarada. And I can poison things, which is pretty nice. But yeah, this team is just get Chip, and then Annihilate kind of breaks with Scarf, especially if I get like a double and get like Landorus to intimidate me. I'll get the Defiant boost, and then Greninja can win. If he brings like Scarf Meowscarada, then I'll try and win with like a late game Thundurus after chipping things down. So yeah, so why don't we hop right into the game. So as you can see, he brought no Tatsugiri, which is great for me, and no Knuckle Stack. And as you saw, I did not even talk about this one at all because I did not expect it to come, nor did I care. So yeah, my lead was always going to be Screamtail. I figured he'd lead Meowscarada. I want to punish it with my Helmet and then just get a Brox right away so I can start punishing things like Heatran, Landorus, figure out what's boots or whatnot. So yeah, and we can see at the preview here, my Terra types are all different, but this is Annihilate, it's Ghost since it's in the 3rd slot. His Annihilate is the Terra, it's in the 5th slot, and we can see that it's Terra Fairy. So very interesting. We have a pretty defensive Glimmora that can handle Meow and Ape. So it's actually pretty good that he is Fairy, I can punish that. And it's a neutral type to my Terra Ghost, so that's pretty good for me. And I have Gunk Shot on Donphan as well, so not too bad. I just go for Rocks here, as he goes for Flower Trick, and in the battle, I immediately Googled if Flower Trick was Contact, because I remember someone saying it wasn't, and I wanted to make sure. It's actually not Contact, so I'm like, well, this kind of defeats my Rocky Helmet point, but I figured he was going to knock off at some point, so he's probably like a Sash lead or something, and he didn't show Protean, so he's definitely Overgrow. So he probably only has Stabs, so he didn't feel like he needed to run a Protean there. So seeing how much that did, I was like, okay, I didn't really calc how much the Flower Trick damage roll was. I just went for Rocks here, as he went for a knockoff, as I went for a Wish, and I wasn't sure what he would click here. I assumed it would just be Flower Trick again, and that was actually a roll to kill me. He actually low rolled the first time with 33. It does like at most 37, so I didn't want to throw it away yet. I wanted to use it as like a sack later for like if I need to sack versus like Landorus or Annihilate, I can Encore if he's like set up Ape. I could utilize Scream in that way. So I just went hard Glamora because if he went for like another knockoff, at least I can get a what's it called? A helmet hit. If he went for Flower Trick, regardless, I get a Toxic Debris off, and that's good for Annihilate. So he does go for Spikes here, which is not amazing. I'll click slow here, but he goes for Flower Trick. We do get a Toxic Debris, and I don't even go for Spikes. I want this dead for my Greninja, so we get rid of Meowscarada, which is great because that definitely wasn't Scarf, which is the main Revenger to Greninja, so he really doesn't have anything. At this point, everything dies to Greninja. It's just the Scream Tail, and if I get any chip on that and pressure it, like, Greninja's just going to win at this point because there's no Scarf Meowscarada. So he goes Landorus, and like I said, I don't really want to sack Lamora yet in case he goes Toxtricity at some point. I can get my Toxic Debris back up at some point in time, and I can also use it to pressure Annihilate if he is the setup set with Terra Fairy. I can at least, especially if he's Terra or not. So I just sack Screamtail here. As he goes for Earthquake. I considered going Thundy, but I felt like it wasn't worth risking him clicking Raw Edge, especially since I didn't know his item yet. But he does show Leftovers, and I just go Greninja here. And I debated clicking Surf since it was just a safer click overall, but I just went for Hydro Pump because I wanted maximum damage versus Screamtail. If he was like max Spadef, then depending on the roll, it was like a chance I could two-shot. But he's definitely not max defense, probably just like max HP. So yeah, that's pretty good damage for me. I figure at this point, I can either go for Hydro again, but if I miss, he could like T-Wave me, or just click Gleam and kill me. So I debated maybe swapping into my Donphan here, but if he clicked Wish, it would have been mildly annoying for him to pivot into like Annihilate and stuff. Or if he had like a Balloon Mon or something. So I figured just 80%. Probably not the best play to stay in my opinion. I probably should have just played it safe and swapped into Donphan here. But I opted to stay in and click Hydro Pump. And as you can see, I do unfortunately miss. But he clicks Baton Pass. So he does not punish me in any way for the miss, which is great. But he gets in Toxtricity to get rid of the T-Spikes. So if he's max HP Assault Vest, I actually still kill him. So I figured if anything, he might just... like, he definitely has something for me, or he's Scarfed. So I want to scout it, so I go into my Donphan here. If he's Specs, then at least I know I outspeed him. But he goes for Shift Gear. And that kind of confuses me because in-game, I'm like, is he Magnet Rise or something? So I went and looked up if it learned Magnet Rise. It does not. So we're going to hit this thing with a fat-ass EQ, and he has no switch in. Even if he went Landorus, whatever. But he stayed in. He didn't realize we were Assault Vest, and we chewed that up. So that's great for us. And he decides to go into Annihilate here. I don't really want to sack this yet. I want to keep it around in case I want to like pivot in versus like Screamtail, or keep my Ice Shard for like Landorus, Earthquake to Heatran, especially if it's not offensive. I should be able to take one hit from it. So I'm just going to go hard in my Thunderous, because if he starts setting up, I want to like taunt him. And his Rage Fist won't be like fully boosted yet or anything. And then once he's locked into a move, I can go hard Glamora and start punishing him with my helmets. So that's exactly what I do. I go Thunderous here as he goes for a close combat. So I'm like, oh, he's definitely Scarfed. But he gets a massive crit, but it does 91%. I had to calc this just to make sure I wasn't crazy. This is Choice Banded Annihilate. Choice Banded Annihilate, and he got a crit. So I know I can just safely go into my Ape here. It's a Ghost type. So I just hard swap here. Because I know he's banded, and he actually makes a double predicting my Ape, but he decided to go Landorus instead and give me a Defiant boost. So that's what I was talking about, getting a double working out for me here. So yeah, I just stay in and click Terra Blast, almost kill him as he goes for Earthquake. This is cool because now Rage Fist is actually stronger. So if I wanted to, I could Rage Fist the Annihilate and one-shot him, can one-shot the Tran and stuff, but then if I swap, I'm not +1 anymore. So at this point, I just obviously I'm going to claim my kill versus Landorus, and I assume at this point he has to go into Heatran and try and live the +1 Terra Blast. or go into his Ape to try and live it, and that's what he decides to do. He goes Ape, but I realize at this point Greninja just wins because, again, he has no Scarf Meowscarada, his Screamtail's in Surf range, his Heatran's going to die to +1 Surf unless it's Pasho Berry, but he'd have to be like Body Press to kill me, and even then at that point I have enough tools to win the end game. I have enough speed, so yeah, I just stay in. I know he's not Scarfed, I just get my chip damage for the Surf roll, and we almost one-shot this as well. He goes for Terra Blast Fairy, and yeah, we just bring Greninja and we click Surf 3 times and win the game. So nothing super eventful. I thought this build of his was not the best. I guess he tried to muscle through like Donphan, Ape, Wo-Chien with like Banded Ape. I don't know what the Meowscarada was. I really am shocked he didn't bring Scarf for Battle Bond. I feel like that was the best option. That was the only option he had outside of Tatsugiri with Storm Drain. He could have brought like an Assault Vest Tatsugiri or something to try and check the Greninja. And with the +1 boost, he would be able to put on pressure on my Screamtail with Surf and stuff. So I wasn't too sure what his real counterplay there was for it, but he just brought mono kind of offense. I assumed it was some Spadef Landorus for Bundy. I figured that was going to come anyways. I don't know what Tran was. Probably Scarf or something. It had to be Scarf. He needed something Scarf in this matchup, I felt, but I felt like it had to be Meowscarada. But yeah, maybe it was Shuckleberry Heatran, I don't know. But that was a very big win. 4-0 again. So we got a 6-0 and a 4-0. And my team has now won 19 straight games in a row. Our next game, can it be the 20th? Will it be the 20th? I'm hoping it is. I'll probably make a cut at the end of this video and talk about whether or not the streak has continued and kind of sum up the rest of our week 5. If the streak, like again, if the streak continues, if the streak ended, if we somehow, since we're up 3-0, if we somehow get a third consecutive 7-0 sweep over a team. Again, the fact that we even did it twice is just unprecedented because there have been very few 7-0 sweeps in Team Tour histories. Maybe like 4 or 5 of them, or maybe like yeah, something like that. 4 to 6 of them or something. So the fact that we got 2 of them in the same season, back-to-back weeks, potentially on our way to a third, that's pretty wild. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed, and yeah, if there's no cut to a recap, that means nothing happened, like nothing great happened. If there is, I'll update you guys. But hope you guys enjoyed. Oh, never mind, it died. What is that? Okay, that's tragic. A crit there sucks. I don't know how he's gonna beat the Thundy now. What the hell? Luckily, this is free. Yeah. What the hell? Oh yeah, this is over. This is over. Havada putting in work, representing America. Braviary. At this point, just stay in and attack it. You want to get chip damage on this. Come on, Habadub. Bring home the 20th win. Why is that doing so much damage? I understand it's scarfed, but goddamn. Young Landorus just outrage his way to victory. Boom. Alright, this should be a dub. Easy dub! 20 straight wins in a row. Let's fucking go!